Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a soon-to-be released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Monster Master, which is a mix between an RTS and an FPS, and this game is in early access. I will premise this by saying the game is in very early access and can barely be called alpha at this point. I like the idea, I like the difference and the uniqueness of it, but it needs a lot of work. It also needs a player base because it seems to be PvP only, and that is a problem. Well, as always, we'll look through the options first, and then we'll jump into the gameplay. I will show you a bit of the monster side, and I will show you a bit of the hero side. And I will give you my first thoughts and impressions on both sides as we play. So, let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it, shall we? So, the first massive red flag is the fact that this is your options menu. This is all you get. You don't get anything else. There's no graphics settings. There's no FPS settings. There is literally nothing. You've got your volumes and that's it. Also, the volumes are set very high. There's no adjustment there whatsoever. And your sensitivity, that's not good enough. Now, again, this game is in very early access, so I'm hoping this is going to change. There should be plenty of options that need to be added in, especially with the complex nature of the fact that it's two different modes depending on what you play. So I'm really hoping that they do add that in time. Other than that, there's nothing to say because there are no options, and I'm just disappointed. Honestly, I'd expect a game to have options as a standard, but here we are in 2022 seeing that is not the case. Let's jump into the gameplay. So, when you decide to play, you get a choice of Monster, Hero, or Auto. From what I'm seeing, when you hit Auto, it almost always puts you on to Hero mode. And then you're put in a queue. You have no idea how long you've been in the queue. You have no idea how many other people are in the queue and are willing to play. I don't know if this is going to be co-op with the Hero side of it, or whether it's going to be just solo 1v1. It doesn't give you any feedback or any information. You have 4 characters that you can choose from, and apparently you can switch between those even whilst you're readied up, which makes no sense. And then you've got your map, and it shows you your abilities here, and then you can force the game to start if you so desire, which we're going to have to purely and simply because there's nobody else playing the game right now. It also seems to do this thing where it unreadies you after a certain amount of time and then readies you up again, which makes no sense. Just keep you readied and in a queue as opposed to forcing another one. So we're going to jump into the game. Now, when you force the game, luckily it doesn't actually take that long to jump you in. It sort of loads in and you're here. And the problems only continue. Whilst the graphics look sort of alright for some things, you've got this weird arm animation for the gun, and picking up your items is very clumsy and doesn't feel very good. You've got no idea of what you can have. It doesn't show you all of your inventory because you can switch between your weapons with your mouse wheel. On top of that, there's no minimap, and the maps seem very small. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of exploration to be done. The designs are pretty cool on the whole, and then you've basically got to just go against the enemies and try not to die. There's no objective, although when I show you on the monster side of it, you can see that there actually is an objective, and it doesn't really make it very obvious where that is for the hero side of things. The gameplay is pretty standard and not very engaging. You just point, shoot, try to find where it is you need to go, and you've got to go against really not very smart AI. You have 3 different monster types that you can go against, and then you've basically got to just try and kill them. The enemy types are 3. There's not tanky, but lots, a bit tankier, and then more tanky still, and there's no real special abilities with them. They're just massive bullet sponges, which is, again, not engaging, not fun, and then you die. And that's it. They need to add a minimap, they need to add a clear objective point, they need to add more loadouts for the characters to give you a interesting game style, and they need to work on the AI of the monsters. So, speaking of the monsters, let's look what it's like to play with those. Alright then, so this is the RTS mode or the monster mode. As you can see, you've got an extraction point over here. You are very zoomed in and it makes it quite difficult to sort of figure out where you are because again, there is no minimap at all. You have traps that you can activate and then you've got your monsters down here in the bottom. You have 2 abilities and then you've got your different monster types that you can summon. Again, they're not anything special, they're just more tankier and don't really do anything different. And as you can see, there's no way of telling where the enemies are on the map because there are no enemies because there's nobody playing. And basically what you do is you just select the enemy type and you spawn them where you are allowed to. And the idea is that you've got to basically stop the heroes from getting to their point. So it's kind of like a never-ending tower defense. You've got a maximum of 30 of these little guys that you can put down. And then you've got 8 of the not so little guys. And then you've got bigger guys that you can put. And then you've got your bigger guys still. Interestingly enough, you only get 2 of the defense types, like the not the biggest group. Whereas you get 3 of the attacking monsters, if you like. And then you just sit there and wait for them to either kill some of the enemies so you can respawn them again or activate traps. And that is it. Like, it's not even a true RTS because you can't make anything to give you more units. You can't improve your units. You can't upgrade anything. And without a minimap or anything, you can't tell what's going on. You've got no way of knowing. And again, the map looks incredibly small for where you can and cannot spawn monsters. It's just underwhelming and a bit dull, and I can't see it getting any better if you've got more people playing either, because there's no... You're not playing in this mode. You're just dropping units and hoping for the best. Like, they don't stay within a set area. You can't tell them to go to a certain area. You just drop them and they do their thing, and that's it. So, whilst I like the idea of the game in theory, and I think that it has a ton of potential, the fact that you've got an RTS mode versus FPS mode and you're going against, and it's like a live action dungeon crawler, in reality, in practice, it's not that. It's anything but that. It's just drop units and hope for the best. Add to that, there's no player base right now, and it's kind of a dead-on-arrival game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they make a ton of improvements. I hope that they keep working on the game. But honestly, I don't really see it. I mean, look at this AI in this corner here. They're not even doing anything. They're just... The AI is dumb. So yeah, there you are, guys. That's Monster Master. It's an interesting concept, but nothing more than that. Let me know in those comments down below what you think, and I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.